If I could sit down with just one newly married couple, this is what I will share with them. And this is not based on theories, it's based on real life experience, what I've observed over the years, what I've even experienced myself. Let's get started. The first 1 year matters more than you think. You see, if you can get it right in the first 1 year of the wedding or marriage, did I say wedding? I mean marriage. You will definitely get it right. Maybe in the next 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, even 20 years, because the first 1 year set the tone. It's the foundational year of the marriage. So I want to advise newly married couples to focus on the first 1 year. The first 1 year shouldn't be when you sit down to start a family. I always advise that new married couple settle down. Take that 1 year to re-strategize. Like I said before now, no matter how long you've known your spouse during dating, courtship, and the rest, when you get into marriage, that your spouse will become a new person. There are things about your spouse that you need to restudy because marriage comes with new identity. New roles are expected. So I always advise that don't just assume we've dated for months, years, and the rest, or we've courted for years and the rest. Focus on re strategizing, revisit the vision, the mission. Because I say this and I want to re-emphasize it here. The whole essence of marriage is for two individuals who have similarity of purpose, whose purpose complement each other, coming together in order to pursue purpose. So focus on the first 1 year. What I see most people do in their first 1 year of marriage is proving their manhood, their womanhood by getting pregnant, giving birth to a child. I got it wrong in my marriage in this area. I could remember when we got married, it was like initially, yeah, I had plans of waiting for 2, 3 years before bringing kids into this world. But you know, the societal pressure on my wife and I, we abandoned the plan and brought in kids. Don't get me wrong, I love my daughters. God has given me beautiful daughters whom I'm proud of. But as I speak to you now, there are things about my spouse I'm still learning. I'm still knowing. There are things about me my wife is still knowing, still learning. So please sit back. The first 1 year is when you should plan the finance, plan the parenting, improve on communication. The first 1 year should be when you should focus on improving your communication skills. See, one of the challenges new marriages fail is that they ignore communication. They just assume the communication skills or pattern they brought in from their dating courtship will be effective in marriage. And I'm telling you, no. I'm one person that have made so many mistakes in marriage. I even believe I've made more mistakes than anyone in marriage. So I'm sharing this, giving you this advice so that you don't repeat this. Improve on your communication skills, plan your finance, learn conflict resolution skills. Because I tell you, conflict is inevitable in marriage. We don't celebrate marriage because it's perfect. We celebrate marriage because conflict comes and you were able to resolve those conflicts. They don't give award because you never had conflict in marriage. They give you award because you've been able to stand firm despite the challenges, the conflict that rock the marriage. The second advice I will give to a newly married couple is protect your spouse. So, like I said, protect your spouse, not your marriage. Many people focus on protecting their marriage and leaving their spouse. Why I said this, if I don't share this, you hardly know the difference between protecting your spouse and protecting your marriage. Most times, people do things to portray their marriage to be perfect. Why the two parties involved, the husband and wife, are going through a lot. So what I mean protecting your spouse than the marriage is making sure your spouse come first, not the marriage. Let me share what happened to me some years ago when I went for my grandmother's burial. You know, my wife, due to her health challenge, she has not been carrying out the normal domestic duty or maybe what's expected of a wife. So when I got to the village, I saw many wives going to the kitchen, cooking for their husbands, their kids, washing clothes for the kids and the rest. And this is something I normally do at home due to my wife's health. Tried to send her to go do it. And she told me, you have not been doing this. And I wanted to show them that my marriage is intact. I'm in charge of the marriage. I shouted at her and the rest. And when she said, I've never done it, it led to so much crisis that my parents, my siblings felt she's lording over me. That is trying to protect a marriage, not your spouse. Part of protecting your spouse is understanding that roles should be assigned based on biological roles, not gender roles. In my previous videos, I've talked about the difference between gender and biological roles. So I beg you, protect your spouse first before the marriage, because we've learned how to make it look like marriage is perfect when it's not perfect. When the husband and wife are not agreeing, they're going through crisis, we make it look like everything is perfect. So I just want to tell you today that don't focus on that. Rather, focus on your spouse first, your husband first, your wives first, and not what people perceive of the marriage, not how people perceive the marriage to be. Because we have this notion of wanting our marriage to look perfect, look great before people, and we don't necessarily care whether the people involved are happy, the two individuals involved are happy or not. Don't focus on validation, making people praise your marriage. Because why I'm saying this, there are marriages that people clap for in public, but in private, I tell you, they're going through a lot. So it's more preferable that yours is having crisis and you are working on it than ignoring it and wanting public validation, wanting the public to feel all is well. So protect your spouse before your marriage. Now, I want you to quickly share this video to 1 or 3 or maybe 5 persons, because the challenges we have in marriage is that people are keeping their marriage mistakes, their marital mistakes private, and they are not exposing it for people to learn and avoid such mistake. And this is what I do. I share my marriage experience, my challenges, my struggle for you to learn where necessary and prevent it. Even when you want to repeat what I've done, you will be aware of the consequences of those actions you'll be taking. The third advice I will be giving to newly married couples is be intentional about your marriage. Gone are days where you just feel you're of age, you have a job, you have friends that are married, or you want to belong to your age grade, or maybe passage of right. You know, when a man marries, he moves from a boy to a man. When one marries, or when a woman marries, she moves from Miss to Mrs. Don't do that. Marry because you want to make it work. Marry because you've discovered your purpose and you want to collectively pursue purpose. So be intentional about marriage. Marriage is not something you leave to chance. It's something you work on, you improve on every day. Be intentional. Every day you should be one step ahead. Keep improving. You started with communication skills, improving on it. Move to conflict resolution skills. Move to money management skills. Move to your bedroom love making skills. Keep improving. Be intentional. And I want to quickly correct something here. I hear people say 50-50, 100-100. Please, let me say this. At the very beginning of the marriage, it's not 50-50, it's not 100-100. One of the spouse, maybe the husband, the wife, will take the lead in making the marriage work. Maybe after some years, the other spouse who has not been contributing much or more, who has not been putting more effort, will start picking up and putting more effort in the marriage. So don't hear what these marriage content creators say. that it must be 50-50, 100-100. No. In my marriage, it has been changing. There are times my wife is the one that put more effort. There are times I put more effort. That's how it works. So please be intentional. Be intentional. Now, based on the three advice I've given, which one of this advice you wished you heard before going to marriage or you heard earlier on? Please leave me a honest answer in the comments. Now, the other advice I would give to newly married couple or couples, it's no conversation should be a difficult conversation. Because I discover the challenges people have. Maybe they are shy, they refuse talking to their spouse about their challenges, communicating with them, and they term it difficult. In marriage, there's nothing like difficult conversation. Like my wife will always say, why would you marry someone you cannot be free to talk with? Make every conversation easy. Sometimes what plant the seed of divorce or conflict, it's because you avoid saying some things, communicating some things to your spouse. Maybe the word you want to say or what you're planning to discuss with your spouse might not be okay. Study your spouse. That's why in 1 Peter 3:7, it said, live with one another with understanding. Know when you can get his or her attention and discuss it with him or her. Like for me, it took me time to understand. Like some marriages say, I wake my spouse early in the midnight to discuss. Mine, I don't get the best of my wife midnight because she will be sleeping then. Maybe it's early hours of the day or before we go to bed is when we discuss some important things. And discuss. Bring it up. Even if what you're saying will be so harsh, your tone should bring down the tone of your voice. Say it in love. In fact, no conversation should be termed difficult if you communicate and express yourself in love. It's only when you are not expressing yourself in love that you term such conversation to be difficult. There is what a man said to me some time ago. This man is into extramarital affairs, and I was like trying to talk him into quitting extramarital affairs, seeing other women, sleeping with other ladies other than his wife. And he said something that really shocked me. He said, how will he be comfortable making love to a woman that smells down there? And I told him, have you been able to tell your wife to work on her personal hygiene and the rest? And he said he can't because she will not be cool with it. And I asked him, why did you marry her if you can't be able to communicate with her concerning her personal hygiene? So wives, let me quickly say this. When you are washing yourself, I know, yes, you're overwhelmed with so many roles, so many functions as a wife, a mother, and the rest. As a breadwinner, you come back from work, you cook food for the kids, you take care of your husband, you come back from work. Like, let me say this. Thank you for everyone who has corrected me in my pronunciation. Before now, I used to pronounce words, and the rest. I really want to appreciate everyone that has encouraged me, told me to pronounce words the right way. I appreciate you all. So, like I was saying, you come back and you are tired. So when your husband comes, you forget to take care of yourself and you just rush to wash yourself. Please concentrate in washing back and front. Don't just concentrate in washing your vagina alone. Go back and wash yourself back there, maybe your backside, especially for men that like making love using the doggy style during love making, because it helps cleanse you. It helps makes that place clean and the rest. So I want to beg you, no conversation should be termed, difficult conversation. I'm so happy with my marriage. The day my wife told me our sex life, our years of fornication is fun and more enjoyable than our sex life in marriage. Yes, at first, I was a bit uncomfortable. I felt insulted, but because she communicated with me in love, I never felt that way. So please and please, I'm begging you, no conversation should be difficult in marriage. And what I'm trying to say here will really help you, especially the first 1 year. Learn to bring every conversation before your spouse, because there is this lady that demanded quality, improve love making with her husband. And the husband said, you don't learn bad thing. Bad friends don't influence you. We are not demanding this before now. Why are you demanding this? Please and please, I'm begging you, learn to bring up some conversation earlier in marriage. Because some of you believe, I will keep quiet. Later, I'm still studying. Later in the marriage, I will speak. The earlier you start discussing that pressing need of yours with your spouse, the better. Don't wait for when it is 1 year, 2 years, and the rest. Start saying it now so that your spouse will not, especially your husband, will not accuse you, you've changed, and the rest. Please, newly married couple, these are the pieces of advice I can comfortably sit and give to you, because they will help you avoid the mistakes I myself paid with my early years of marriage. I don't know how to say this, but I tell you, if you go through what I've gone through, I bet you will not be with your spouse. You guys will be divorced long time ago. Experience is not always the best teacher. Wisdom is the best teacher. I know, yeah, you might have been told marriage is this education everyone should go into. It's a university where you never graduate. Don't do that. Learn from other people's mistakes and avoid them where necessary. In my next video, I'll be sharing with you the early marriage mistake, part 4. I've done part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4. And those mistakes are mistakes that can destroy any marriage before you get to year 1. So make sure you subscribe and get notification when I upload the part 4 of the early marriage mistake series.